Hey, everybody, welcome back to Reason and Theology on a Thursday. Your host, Michael Lofton. I wanted to review maybe a 7-minute clip here from a video that was just sent to me from a patron and left me with my jaw dropped. I just saw it. It's on YouTube. The title of the video is Historical Development of the Liturgy, Part 1 with Father Keith Kinney. And it looks like this was delivered at St. Anne Roman Catholic Parish because it's uploaded on their channel. I have a link to it. If you want to watch the whole video, it's in the show notes. But I want to play a 7-minute clip because he is a Latin Mass priest. So he celebrates the Tridentine Mass. And he's asked by the congregation about the restrictions on the Tridentine Mass. And of course, this is due to the restrictions put out by Pope Francis with Traditionis Custodes. This was put out 4 months ago, so this was before the newer rumors that are now circulating about further restrictions. So they asked him for his thoughts, to weigh in on this issue, why the restrictions and so on. And wow, the response was spot on. It's certainly something that some people may not want to hear, but it's something they need to hear. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to review it together. Like I said, it's a short clip here, only about 7 minutes. So let's watch it.
If you want to participate in the Society of St. Peter's, but it's allowing us to do it on a condition that we don't exercise it in our parish.
Right now, it's a little hard to hear the guy in the background asking the question, but you'll hear Father very clearly.
So, how does some...
Okay, so then your question is really, why is this going on?
Why are we not allowed to...
Okay, let me answer that question. I would rather that Catholics were all okay with having a variety of liturgical forms. The fact is, you guys aren't okay with it.
Did you hear that? I would be happy if everybody was okay with a variety of liturgical forms, but the fact is, you guys aren't.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
That's all I could think of when I heard Father say that. I was like, oh, goodness. Telling it like it is. Let's hear it one more time.
How does some...
Okay, so then your question is really, why is this going on?
Why are we not allowed to...
Okay, let me answer that question. I would rather that Catholics were all okay with having a variety of liturgical forms. The fact is, you guys aren't okay with it. If you knew what it was like to be a priest or a pastor and to listen to people complain because you want your favorite song and you don't like that choir, what's all this stuff going on? You're not okay with there being different forms of the liturgy. I mean, I can go to progressives. They look at a priest like me and think I'm absolutely nuts. And then I've listened to the traditionalist. And you will rarely find a more bitter spirit than among traditionalists.
Oh, I can tell you, unfortunately, that's true. Let's hear that again.
Listened to the traditionalist. And you will rarely find a more bitter spirit than among traditionalists.
The nastiest kind of behavior I've experienced in doing 4 years of apologetics now has not come from atheists or the Muslims. It has actually come from really staunchly traditional Catholics and likewise the Orthobros. They're kind of two sides to the same coin.
The amount of times that I've had a traditionalist mock the Mass of my ordination. Tell me that the Novus Ordo, the ordinary form that we celebrate, is somehow less than the ancient tradition. I'm perfectly okay with you loving the ancient tradition. I love it.
Yep. Yep. It's great to have, particular preference. I think it's fine if somebody prefers the Missal of 62 over the Missal of 69, or the third edition of the Roman Missal. Now, I think that that's fine. It's just when a person takes it too far and starts to mock the actual liturgies of other churches, or I should say of other liturgical expressions that the church has approved of.
That doesn't bother me. It does bother me when you think that your liturgy is better than everyone else's. You can prefer it all you want. But if Jesus is willing to come down from heaven when I do Mass in English or in Spanish, I'm willing to be here for it. And here's the problem that we create for ourselves in this liturgical war thing that we do. Pope Francis isn't wrong. He isn't wrong about the division that's risen up. Go on YouTube and listen to the traditionalists mock bishops, mock priests, mock the ordinary form of the liturgy. They'll do it again and again and again.
Yep. And that's what I've been saying. We might say, look, there are some better ways that perhaps the Holy Father could have dealt with this issue than Traditionis Custodes. Sure. But we at least know why he took this route. And what Father's saying here is absolutely true.
Yeah, well, I could do the same thing in reverse. You think that before the council, all the Tridentine Masses were celebrated with great pomp and circumstance? You think they were always reverently said? You don't think there were any priests that mumbled through the prayers?
Somebody asked in the chat, why don't they ever bash the Eastern churches for having different liturgies? Excuse me, but they do. I hear it all the time. I call them Latin Rite supremacists. They think that somehow the Latin Rite is superior to all the other churches. I have no problem with somebody preferring a particular liturgy. That's fine. I have my preferences as well. But I'm not going to say that my particular expression or my particular church is the best and mock others.
Go on YouTube and listen to Cardinal Cushion murder the Latin language at JFK's funeral. All right? So here's why it's being taken out of parishes. Because we're not mature enough to handle ritual liturgical differences in our parishes. And what's happened is, where we put it into parishes, priests have a difficult time having their feet in different liturgies, right? So that's why you don't come across very many biritual priests, because you tend to fall in love with one and you leave the other to the side. And so what happens then is the form that you get, you have a priest that's telling you that this is better, that there's problems with the other one. And you listen and you follow that. And what do you end up with? Well, you will only worship here. You're okay to have your preference, but it does cause divisions. Why am I at St. Anne's? Because your pastor got called back to Spain, and they needed to find a priest who knew enough about Latin that he could say the Old Mass. They don't teach it to us in seminary. Seminarians get a semester of Latin.
Which is tragic, in my estimation. I think in the Roman Rite and seminaries, there should be more training in Latin. That's very unfortunate.
Right? They want more than that. They have to do it themselves. And they do not teach us to celebrate the Old Mass.
Also tragic. I think that both forms in the Roman Rite should be taught.
So long term, this was never going to work, because we as Catholics aren't mature enough to have a kind of stability, and priests are not trained for this anymore. What are you asking of a priest who didn't grow up with the Tridentine Mass, who doesn't know Latin? You're asking him to memorize all the rubrical distinctions of the Tridentine Mass and learn how to pronounce something that he doesn't understand when he celebrates Mass. That's a pretty big ask, right? So I'm happy that it has a place, because my personal opinion, because I like the Tridentine Mass, is that we need something that reminds us of our roots, to kind of anchor us. Because I also don't care for the puppet shows at Mass and the hootenanny stuff that does nothing for me. Right.
We're on the same page. I can't deal with that stuff.
If we could all just be mature enough, lay people, priests, bishops, if we were all actually mature and secure enough to not worry about what someone else is doing, we might have a shot. But because we're not in that place, you're going to see this back and forth. In my lifetime, the Tridentine Mass has gone from hidden enclaves in hotel rooms.
Not exactly true. There were some provisions for it under Paul VI and others, and also under John Paul II.
To being welcomed with open arms, to even saying a priest under Summorum Pontificum need not ask his bishop's permission. That's a big change. So now it's being dialed back again a little bit. I don't expect that it'll stay there. I expect that it'll go another way. I think in 200 years, they'll look back on all this liturgy war stuff and they'll try to figure out, what were these guys doing?
I think he's right about that.
Right? So that's the big reason that that stuff is happening. I have some other suspicions, but I don't know them to be true, so I can't say them.
And that's wise. If you can't verify them, probably not good to speculate on them. I appreciated what Father had to say here. Seemed pretty balanced to me. Like I said, you can watch the whole video if you would like. I'll put it in the show notes. You're certainly welcome to check it out. But thank God for priests like this. Good and well balanced. So let's pray for Father Keith and that God continues to bless his ministry. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And of course, check me out, patreon.com/reason and theology, where you'll get access to extra content. In fact, I'm about to add some new stuff here in just a few moments for the patrons. So y'all look out for that. All right. We'll see you later.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, office, or any kind of property anywhere in the world, you're going to want to call Real Estate for Life, and they're going to connect you with a Catholic agent. Now, that agent will donate a portion of their commission upon sale, and Real Estate for Life will donate 75% of that gift to a pro-life organization at no cost to you. Call Real Estate for Life at 1-877-LIFE-US1 or text them 248-431-1440. If you care about the pro-life cause, call them now.
Is it possible that ancient aliens created other ancient aliens? Ancient alien theorists say yes. But then, is it also possible that ancient aliens created the ancient alien theorists? And are the ancient aliens and ancient alien theorists led by the Vatican, headed by the Pope? Ancient alien theorists and certain unnamed Catholic YouTubers say yes.
Tired of Catholic shows that peddle conspiracy theories that sound like something out of an Ancient Aliens episode? Check out Reason and Theology for a more reasonable take.